Great day, everybody. This is Dolores Williams with Divine Connections Magazine. Hope you all are doing well today. Let me just share a little bit of information about Divine Connections Magazine. It comes out quarterly on a quarterly basis, and I advertise and promote different gospel artists, businesses, entrepreneurs, authors, praise dance, moms, vendors, and positive things going on in the community. And recently we have a magazine that just came out, so you can actually check that out at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. And this comes out on a quarterly basis. You can also subscribe. You can also connect with us on social media, which is Divine Connections Marketing, Divine Connections Event. We're also on Instagram with Divine Connections and YouTube at The Divine Connections. And today I'm excited and want to introduce our special guest that I've connected with, Pastor Roy and Kimberly Manley. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Good. So I want to just share my audience with you because you all, they have an awesome and phenomenal ministry that they love to share with others. I saw them on Facebook and I've been kind of following them ever since I've connected with them. I'm going to first give them opportunity to share who they are, where they're from, what they're currently doing now about their ministry, and we'll go from there.
Amen.
Well, hello. Again, this is Pastor Roy, and we're from Reedsville. The name of our church is Faith Christian Center. We've been pastoring for over 4 years now, and we just have a heart for people. We love God and we love people, and so we're so excited just to be a part of people's lives and come into their homes and share how God has blessed our marriage for over 28 years, and we just want to share our experiences with others, to help them along the way. And so we just thank God for this opportunity.
Yes.
Amen. I would like to also say thank you to Dolores for having us on Divine Connections. It's such a blessing. She's been following us and just shouting us out. And boy, she has really stepped in and given us an opportunity just to kind of see from a different platform just what people are doing and what people are saying about their ministry. And so we're thankful for her on today. And certainly Let's Talk Marriage with the Manleys has been something that we just enjoy doing, and we're enjoying doing it even more. So we're hoping it's going to bless a lot of people.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's go into the different ministries that you've been a part of, and then we'll talk about your ministry, and then let's talk about the marriage series as well. So just elaborate on that just a little bit.
Yeah, basically, like I said, we've been come out of Evangelist Fellowship in Greensboro, North Carolina, but we're both members for over 25 years. We've done from outreach to marriage ministry to Sunday school, children's church, to worship team. So we've done a little bit of everything as it pertains to ministry.
Yeah.
And so, and that has propelled us to where we are now as being pastors.
Mm-hmm.
We've also been leaders of different home cell groups throughout that ministry. And so now we're in pastoral leadership right now. And so, like I said, we've always been around couples and encouraging couples. Mm-hmm. And so that has led us to where we are now. So everything has been a kind of like a preparation stage.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so just to add to that, so we served in Evangel for over 30 years in ministry under the late Bishop Otis Lockett Sr. Laid such a phenomenal foundation for us, poured into us, saw into us some things that we did not see. And then at his transitioning, of course, we remained at the ministry. And then we went out and started ministry on his word. He sent us out into ministry. And then now we're under the leadership of Bishop Orrin K. Pullins and Dr. Medina Pullins in Richmond, Virginia. And certainly they have picked up the baton and really pushed us even more into doing ministry and couples ministry specifically as God has called us to. So we're thankful for the 2 yards and the 2 vineyards that God has blessed us to be a part of. Both yards have so many similarities in terms of what God has instilled in us as we were young in ministry to now being a lot more mature in ministry. So we're just honored just for what God is doing in this season. And we're thankful for just what he's allowing us to be a part of.
Awesome. And actually during this ministry, especially with the pandemic, y'all have birthed the Let's Talk Marriage with the Manley series. I'm so excited about that. And so let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think I'll start. I believe maybe the beginning of the pandemic, when we were absolutely quarantined into our homes. We
Yeah.
were actually on a ministerial conference call, I believe it was, with Bishop Pullings, and he and his wife, and we were talking, and he mentioned, or she mentioned to us, you guys have such a gift, and you have such ministry in you, and it's necessary for the kingdom, and
Yeah.
to really use it. And so after that call was over, we were encouraged to, and started to think, and it just kind of came in my mind, why don't we take some of the 28 years or 27 years at the time that we have learned, and pour it into somebody else. We don't know who will listen, don't know if anybody will even get online, but let's just see. And so my husband, of course, we jumped on board. We both have always talked about doing marriage things and doing things in ministry. We've always done something in marriage ministry. We do a lot of our ministry in terms of just pouring into couples, pouring into people to know what to do, what not to do, how to live this marriage, how to be married. And so Let's Talk Marriage, just with the Manleys, just kind of came. It was just such an easy name, and it just kind of fell in our lap. And so we've just been overjoyed, I think, and more tickled at what the response that we have gotten. And I believe this overwhelmed at the end of each session just what the comments and the people that come on. It's just really been a blessing. And even the messages that we've received, people have been sending messages and saying how thankful they are for us being on. And so we're just super excited and thankful for the opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you actually counsel marriage couples?
I do. So in my practice at Optimum Life Counseling Services, which is in Jamestown, I do couples ministry or couples counseling. And I prefer to call it more coaching, because a lot of couples have inside of them what they need to be successful. It's just a discovery. And sometimes you need a coach to pull it out. You need a coach to help you see it that you can't see, and to give you some strategies and some plays that'll help you be successful in your marriage. And so I call myself more of a marriage coach and educator, that I kind of educate in areas and open couples' eyes into areas that they can be more successful in, that they've not been looking at before. So yes, I provide that in my office. Yes.
Awesome, awesome. And you have also wrote a book, Delilah's Bed, Secrets to a Man's Heart. So elaborate on that, and tell us how that came to be a part.
Wow, that was a birth out book, I promise you. My husband and I have had some experiences in marriage that probably, that's right, there it is, Delilah's that really could have taken us out of our relationship, really could have put some horrible damage in our relationship. But thanks be to God, we both made a decision that we wanted to stay. We both wanted to work through things. We both wanted to put all that we had in it to make it work. But the Lord began to birth into me just some strategies and some things. And he took me to Delilah's bed. And at first, or Delilah's story, really. And at the beginning, I thought, well, wait a minute, God, you surely you're not going to give me something from Delilah. But Delilah is not that lady that we preach on that's good. Delilah is the side chick, right? Delilah is the one that's not supposed to be, everybody preaches on sleeping in the bed, in the lap of Delilah. That's a horrible place to be. But the Lord began to show me some principles out of the story that absolutely were strategies to get the heart of your husband, or get the heart of your man. And so when the Lord started to show me that, I began to look at it. Her motives were absolutely wrong. Her motives were not in alignment with doing Samson good, but her method and strategy to get what she wanted is what the Lord began to show me, that if we as women take those strategies and we apply those strategies to our marriage, we can have a successful relationship with our spouses. And so the Lord began to share that with me. He also took me and put me in the mirror of the word. And he made me look at myself and take my eyes off of what my husband was or was not doing, and began to look at me and what I needed to be doing to be successful. And I always tell couples that, to have a successful marriage, it takes two people. And you can't work, you can't work on them and not work on yourself. You got to work on, the two of you have to work on yourselves to make it work together. And so I often tell couples, don't look at your spouse so much as you look at yourself, because you clean you up, everything else will come into play. And so as the Lord began to give me that book, he began to give it to me even more clear. He began to open up my eyes and my understanding of different things. And I mean, strategies kept coming out, and I started saying, okay, God, but he started to show me, you're doing some of the things that you're writing about. So it wasn't like he just gave me strategies that I wasn't practicing. I was absolutely practicing those. I just didn't realize it. So he gave them name. And so, of course, when I got to my publisher and coming up with a name, Delilah's Bed was just the name to give it. It had to be that name. And so it has been, I believe it's been a blessing to many, many, many people. I believe that more women need to have it. I believe that men need to have it in their hands. Our Bishop Pullins, and I want to reference him again because he specifically read the book, and he absolutely said every man needs to have it in their hand. Because for no other reason than to open a man's mind to see that there are women that once a woman gets it, it's unlimited what can happen in your marriage. And to know that that the Lord took that whole story and gave it to me in such a unique way, and to minister to women. So I'm just delighted that he even allowed me to author it. While my name is on it, it's all full of the Holy Ghost. While it has my penmanship on it, it's really his. And so I give him glory for the opportunity to have written the book. And so it's a great book. And so if you don't mind, Dolores, just for a few minutes, I'll just share. There are a couple of chapters in it that I really like to highlight for women to look at. And if there's somebody on the line who's looking, there are a few chapters specifically that I'd like for people to look at. And number one is the one that I think is the very first one when I talk about you can't make a statement, you have to ask questions. And I think that's where a lot of women run into challenges. We make statements to our husbands or statements to men, and we expect a response as if we've asked it a question. So what we do is we load down statements, right? Like a loaded baked potato. We load a statement down, and boy, we want them to respond, and they're looking like, I don't know what part of that you want me to answer. And I'm afraid to answer it because I don't know if I'm going to benefit or if it's going to be a loss for me if I answer this. And so we have to ask the right questions. And Delilah asked the right questions. And she was very specific in those questions. And so she asked the right questions. One of the other things that I like to talk about is making him feel safe. Men feel safe, they will give you the world. They feel safe, they will come home. They feel safe, they won't want to leave home. When they feel safe, but when they don't feel safe, they run. And I think my husband talked about it in one of our sessions about just the emotional disconnect sometimes that men can have in going to the cave, and how that will affect you if there's no safety or safety place at home. And so that's one of the other ones that I really like to drive home, because Delilah allowed Samson to lay his head in her lap, and literally rocked him, and rocked him to a sleep or into a comfort that he was so vulnerable that he literally gave up his power. And you would look at that and think, well, that's so negative. She rocked that man and seduced that man. Well, at the end of the day, if you want to keep your husband, sometimes you got to seduce and rock. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that. You can't just leave him out there and let him be seduced and rocked by somebody else. Right. If you want to keep him, some things you have to do that the side chick is willing to do, you got to do it at home. And so I'm just going to leave some plugs there. I won't say nothing else about it. But so they're just certain things that we have to do. And so I would absolutely encourage every female married, engaged, want to be married, to get the book. I believe that the book will absolutely bless you. And you got
That's
something
right.
you want to say?
Well, basically, you said a lot, but for the man's standpoint, what it does, it helps the man to see himself, and it helps the man to be able to understand, you know, the women that he's with. Because the Bible says, "And all that get an understanding," and that's very important because my wife is giving specific strategies for a woman, and so therefore, when those strategies are implemented, a man can understand, have a better understanding, and he can receive those because he has a better understanding of himself, and he can also understand his spouse much better. So, like I said, it's a dynamic book. It's a self-reflection on both sides for a man and a woman.
Amen. Amen.
So,
Awesome, awesome. And so on every Thursday, they come on Facebook Live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you look on either one of those pages, Pastor Roy page or Pastor Kimberly's page, and they come on every Thursday. So today is Wednesday, depending on when you're seeing this. And so tomorrow, make sure to tune in into their Facebook Live. They have a lot of great nuggets. Make sure you go get the book. And how can individuals contact you all as well?
Well, we got a couple of ways they can reach out and connect with us. First, they can do it through our Facebook page. It's Roy Manley II. And then, of course, mine is Kim Manley. They can find me through Kim Manley. I'm also on Instagram at Dr. K Manley. They can also find us on our YouTube page. There's a YouTube page for Faith Christian Center. And there's also a Dr. Kim Manley Facebook page that they can follow us there as well. If they want to contact us in terms of just getting in contact with us, I'm going to give a number that they can contact us if they want to reach out in terms of just getting information on whether we can share or what have you. But it's 336-656-8819. And that number, they can leave a message there and we will return a call in terms of just reaching out if they want to have a one-on-one or something along those lines. I'm also available. They can send us a messenger. So anyway you want to reach out, you can get us. Our email is, my email is KimberlyCManley@gmail, and that's another way to reach out as well. So there's plenty of ways to catch us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Just send us a message and we will certainly respond.
Awesome. And so what are some encouraging words that you both would like to share and end up with for individuals looking to be married for a long, successful, godly marriage? Let me hear your information on both sides, or encouragement to those that are listening, if they're single or they're married, for a successful, godly marriage. What is your suggestion to those individuals?
Well, first of all, you got to have Christ in the center. He has to be the focal point. And I know a lot of times we hear that, but I believe a lot of times we belittle that. That's very important because if you think about it, God is the institution of marriage. He created marriage. And so if he created marriage, then we need to go back to the one who originally created marriage. And so we have to find out how he designs marriage. What is his expectation of marriage? Because the Bible says marriage is like, Christ in the church. And so that's, first of all, he has to be the center. Secondly, you just can't base your marriage on love.
Come on now.
Because that's something we learned that everybody loves differently. Everybody's interpretation of love is different. And so what I would say, you just can't rely on just love. You have to be committed. And so that's the thing that you're looking at kept us together for 28 years. And we continue to keep us together. It's commitment. You have to be committed to one another. And then thirdly, you have to know your purpose. So because if you don't know the purpose of a thing, abuse is inevitable. So you have to know your purpose.
And I was going to say, and to add on to that, knowing yourself, right? You got to have a self evaluation of yourself and know who you are going into the marriage. because you cannot go into a marriage expecting the other person to fix all your wrongs and make you happy, make you whole, and to make you this. No one can make you anything. And who you are going into the marriage is who you're going to be in the marriage. So you got to know who you are. You got to be willing to be flexible. You have to be flexible. You cannot be rigid. It cannot be your way. Flexibility doesn't mean I'm taken down, but flexibility just simply means I'm going to step to the side on this one and allow myself to see what you're saying so I can walk as one with you. And I think that's one of the most important things. And desiring to do what's right. If you want to do what's right, then that right there in and of itself will start the process towards having a good, successful marriage. And I think what we've learned, and I want to throw this last piece in, is what we've learned is we've just learned how to outlove each other. You know, it's days that we just try to do it outdo each other on how we love him. You know, he may do something, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got to do a little more. I got to step up. I got to step the game up, and just try to outlove one another. You know, even though love is not doesn't keep you, as my husband said, the commitment does. But you have to show expressions of love, and I think that's important. Is showing expressions of love to one another. So.
Awesome. That's phenomenal. And the last thing, a lot of individuals are challenged by the word submission. So you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Submission. Okay.
Well, basically, I think
that's a good thing and how it's really.
What we hear a lot is that, you know, wives, submit to your own husbands as unto the Lord. And that is true. That is scripture. But there's a verse prior to that that says submit one to another. And I think a lot of us, we don't focus on that. We make it one-sided. Because if you look at it in the Bible, in Genesis, when God called Adam, both of them came because he saw them as one. And so you're one. So there's submission on both parts. So we're equal. You know, and so there's no difference. And so it's important that we understand that in our marriage that we have to submit one to another as unto the Lord.
And I think also for women, because we take it the hardest, you know, because this was spring preach, you know, wives submit. And men will use that in the house when they mad in the argument. You're supposed to submit me. I'm the man. And I get it. But at the same time, let me help women understand submission doesn't mean I'm the walking man.
Right.
Submission doesn't mean that I'm taken down. And submission doesn't mean that I'm less than. Submission simply means I'm exercising and exerting a level of power. See, that's more power in submitting than it is in pushing back. It's more power in submitting than it is to be go against the grain, because you have to exert a certain amount of restraint. I'm gonna use that word to just kind of say, you know what? Let me pull back for me. And let me see what the real deal is. Submission simply means that I'm willing to put my will under yours for to see where you are taking me. I'm willing to come under yours to allow you to take me to a place. And when you submit to what we forget about is you have made you've made a decision to submit when you took his name. That's a level of submission all in and of itself. You committed to take his name, because if you don't take his name, then what you're saying is I'm denying, or that I don't want to take everything that comes with you. So when we say I do, you're taking on, you're actually submitting to his name and what comes with him. And so in order for us to really submit, we have to examine ourselves and why we're fighting against the submission. You know, what is it that we want to have? Why are we feeling so proud or so like we don't have control anymore because we're submitting? And it's because it's not about the control. It's about the power to be able to submit to the authority that's over you or that's leading you, right? We can submit to work. We can go to work and submit to the leaders in our jobs. We can submit in every other area. But when it comes to marriage, no, I'm not submitting. We have problems with submitting because we don't understand what it's all about. It's not taken down. It's not become the weak. We're not weak. We're not, losing something. Actually, you're gaining when you submit.
Then also, for the man's standpoint, it's important that your husband, as the wife submits, is that he doesn't make the wife feel bad. Because submission, in other words, he has to take care of the wife as she submits. That's what the Bible says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So he cared for the church. So we have to care for our wives as they submit under our authority or under our hand. So it's not a dictatorship.
It's good.
And so it's where you lead lovingly.
Yes.
And I think that's important as well, Dolores, because when the man leads in that type of way, and he leads with a submissiveness to her, but a leading in such a way that he's not beating her down, he's not, lord over her, and he's just, everything. She will submit. Women don't have a problem submitting, but it's when we have to submit to leadership that looks like it's trying to beat us down.
Yes.
And so I think if men understand, I think that's why it's so important that men understand their role in the marriage of being submissive as well, or submitting as well. Because you can't say certain terms concerning men, they'll block you, right? And when I say that, you can't say a man is hurt. He can say, no, that was kind of offensive. You might not say it's hurt, right? In certain terms, men just don't want, you're not gonna say, because it's a man's makeup. But at the same time, I think that it's important that if a man's leading in that way, and so men have to go into the marriage one way, and women have to go in as well with the same mindset. That's why in the dating relationship, can I say this? It's really important that you do a lot of talking, a lot of communicating, that you don't make assumptions about what it's going to be, right, in the marriage, but you talk about what you're expecting before you get into it. Because if you don't, what you're expecting, you may not get, and then you'll be disappointed. And then disappointment sets in, then you're hurt, you're mad, you're bothered, you're bitter, you're angry, you want out, I don't want to do this anymore. All those things start to play. So a lot of communicating has to happen before you get married. And what we don't do is we don't talk enough. We do too much touching, and so then there's no talking when we get married.
That's right. So really, the dating should be an interview. You're interviewing the person to see if that person is someone you want to spend the rest of your life with.
Right.
So when you interview, you ask questions. You try to find out, try to find out the background, family history, habits, routines, likes, dislikes, all that. Because what we do, we put our best foot forward in the dating. And then when we get married, it's like, where did this come from? I don't recognize you. I didn't see this in the dating.
Right.
If you do the interview beforehand, then you won't be surprised. You know what to expect.
Yeah. So we're not saying, move in with each other. We're not saying check. Okay. But we are saying do enough talking that you get to know one another.
Yes.
And there's going to be some things still in the marriage that you won't know in the dating until you get married. But do enough research that you kind of get to a place where you get to know them as a person. And so that takes a little bit of time.
Oh, yeah.
And it takes time just listening and talking and building friendship. And I can say the one thing that is critical in our relationship is that we are friends. We enjoy each other. We laugh with each other. We talk with each other. We can joke on each other. We enjoy each other. And a lot of couples get married and they lose sight of friendship because they never had it.
Right.
And so you have to build friendship in order for it to really be effective and for you to be successful. So true friends always stick up for each other. True friends don't fight for each other. True friends are going to have each other's back.
That's right. Awesome. So we'll end with this. If you would like to end with a prayer for those that are single or dating or married, to that the God would guide them in the right direction to the right person, and I guess for themselves, to find out what the will of God is for that individual.
Amen. Okay.
Amen.
So, Father, we thank you for this time of gathering, Lord God. We just thank you, Lord God, because you said the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. So, God, we pray that those who come online and those that will see this, Lord, they will be led of your spirit, Father, that they will know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and them that are called according to your purpose. So, Father, I ask you to allow people to lean on you, Father. Because you said if we acknowledge you in all our ways, you will direct our path, God. So those who have desire to be married, and Father, I ask that they will allow you to mature them and develop them into Christ's likeness, Lord God. And to let them know, Father, that there's a appointed time that you've set for everyone, Lord God. And Father, we just thank you because you designed marriage, God, to reveal your purpose, your image in the earth, Lord God. And so we just thank you even now, Father. We pray for all those couples, Lord God, that you will bring together, Lord God, that you will cause to come together by your spirit, Lord God, that it will give you glory, Father, in their lives. And we just thank you because you said not by power, not by might, but it's by your spirit. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Again, so I want to thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to have connected with you. This is Pastor Roy, Kimberly, Manley, from different ministries, and as well as Let's Talk Marriage. Make sure you tune in Thursday at 8 p.m. and make sure you stay connected. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you for your encouragement. You guys make sure to go like their pages and also get the book as well.
Yes.
So this is Dolores Williams with Divine Connections. You all have a divine connection today. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, y'all, hold on. Thank you for tuning in to Divine Connections with Dolores Williams. If you enjoyed this interview, then head on over to our website for more topics like this and to hear more about Divine Connections at www.divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Divine Connections. Stay connected where great people are making great things happen.